So when someone says to me, Kiyomi, I think I fell out of love with my partner. Do I need to leave my partner? This is what I say. Hey guys, Kiyomi here. So let's today talk about a topic about falling in love and falling out of love, a topic that's been requested so many times. If you're new, please subscribe. If you haven't already, download the ROCD checklist. You can find that at awakenintolove.com, and also follow us on Instagram. You can follow us at @WithAwakenIntoLove. So on Instagram, I asked a bunch of you to ask me any questions you may have about this specific topic of falling in and falling out of love. 92% of you said that you struggle with this topic. Only 8% of you said that you do not struggle with this topic and do not have obsessions about falling out of love. So what do I say when someone says to me, Kiyomi, I fell out of love with my partner. I think I have to leave. I will say, good, you fell out of love with your partner. That's normal. So if you're worried that you fell out of love and you're kind of in this panic and this anxiety of what do I do? Did I fall out of love? Do I have to leave my partner? Does that mean that I have to find someone else? I find someone attractive all of a sudden. But if you believe that you are specifically in this stage, I guarantee that you're probably or have fallen out of the honeymoon phase before this becomes a trigger for you. I will tell you that this is a good sign. The honeymoon phase, or the honeywood phase as I call it, because it's basically a combination of the honeymoon phase and the Hollywood portrayal of love and what love should look like, is the first stage of a relationship. So the first stage of a relationship is basically all the excitement, the lust, the infatuation, the I can't get enough of you, the you're the only attractive person in the world, the I don't want anyone else, the I have sex and I want to have sex with you all the time phase. And it's the beginning phase of a intimate relationship. I do want to add though that I do have a lot of clients who have not experienced this phase or have had this phase come up in different times in their relationship, and I do want to say that that's okay. Remember that every single relationship is unique and beautiful and different, and that is so okay. I do want to add that if you feel as though you have fallen out of love, then you've probably gone from the honeymoon phase into the power struggle stage, which is the next stage of a intimate relationship. So if you've gone to the power struggle stage, then congratulations. Welcome to the real stage of love and intimacy and connection and work with your partner. As a personal note, when I was 18, I fell out of love with my partner. The infatuation stage was gone, the honeymoon stage was gone, and I had a panic attack. That's when the obsession started to happen. I specifically remember running out of my room into my dad's office just crying. I felt so ashamed and I felt so guilty for feeling the way that I did. And I specifically remember telling my dad, Dad, I think I fell out of love with my partner. I think I have to leave him. I think this is done. What do? I don't want to leave my partner, but I fell out of love with him. I don't feel the same feelings as I felt before. And I remember him specifically looking at me kind of with a smirk on his face, but also feeling sad at the same time that I was struggling, and telling me, Kiyomi, love is a choice. Love isn't feelings. Love is something that you work at, and you've fallen out of the infatuation, the in love phase of the first part of the relationship. So with that being said, let's say that you've been with your partner for a really long time and you're in a long-term relationship and you still have the obsession of falling out of love with your partner. There's one quote that I absolutely love, and this is how it goes. A relationship is falling in and out of love with the same person over and over again. Really compare a loving relationship to like a hobby or a passion. In the beginning, there's a lot of excitement. You're really excited about it. You really love what you do. You love the activity. You're pretty passionate about it. You think about it a lot. And then all of a sudden, you kind of get out of the honeymoon phase where you don't really feel like doing the sport anymore. So what do? You decide to A, pick another hobby, or you decide B, that you're going to keep working at it. But the more you work at it, the more you realize that there's an underlying joy within it. There's excitement in different times. Sometimes you feel really excited about it, sometimes you feel dull about it, sometimes you feel bored with it, and sometimes you don't even really feel like doing the sport, but you do it anyway. And what happens? There's different periods of the sport or activity where you fall in love with it and you fall out of love with it. If I were to talk to my fiance right now and ask him how many times he's fallen in and out of love with me, he would probably say thousands and thousands of times, because we've been together for almost 11 years, and that's just how a relationship works. It It does take work to bring in that excitement. That's the difference with the honeymoon phase. But when you fall out of love and you fall back in love, it's exciting because you do get that excitement again. You do get that passion again. And of course it dips again because that's how a relationship works. I'm going to get to your personal questions that you've asked me. So this specific question, there's such a thing as falling in love and falling out of love. I worry about falling out of love eventually in my relationship. I think about it a lot. Also, do you think love can last forever? With this specific question, as I answered in the video, yes, there's such a thing as falling in and out of love. That's part of a relationship, but it's a very good sign. Also, do you think that love can last forever? So if you're specifically talking about the infatuation and the in love part, no, I do not believe that that specific period of time can last forever because we need to fall out of love to fall in love within a relationship. But I do believe that you can have those periods of feeling in love and infatuated and more attached to your partner different times of your relationship. So another question, how do we know the difference between falling out of love and being so overwhelmed with relationships anxieties that we're not really able to love? You can have a lot of anxiety in your relationship, and of course it is hard to experience that love and connection when you are experiencing a lot of obsessions and a lot of anxiety in your relationship, but you can absolutely still work on it because you can still definitely have those periods when you're experiencing ROCD where you feel more connected, where you feel more present, where you feel more infatuated with your partner. So you can definitely have those periods of your relationship where you do feel connected even though you experience ROCD. And falling out of love, again, you are going to fall out of love with your partner many times within your relationship. The second part of this is, do I decide to fall out of love, or is it something I have to do, something that happens naturally? Do you decide to fall out of love? Again, I believe that the honeymoon phase is specifically the chemicals and hormones raging throughout our brain and our body. It's not something that we can really control. Of course, a relationship requires work, and you have to water the relationship in order to have that connection, and in order to have that presence, and in order to have those excitement feelings sometimes in your relationship. This other question, is it normal? I hear it is during certain phases or stages, and maybe how can we come back from it if it ever does happen? So again, yes, it is extremely normal and expected to fall out of love or out of the honeymoon phase, and it does happen frequently in different times of the relationship. Again, it's about falling in and falling out of love many times with the same partner. So the last question, and this is a really common question, the fact that you can find other people attractive while being in a relationship can cause falling out of love. So I first want to say that it is extremely natural and okay to find other people attractive. It doesn't mean that you have to leave your partner. We are humans. It is expected that we will find other people attractive. And what matters in this situation is still choosing your partner, deciding to be with your partner even though you have feelings of falling out of love or the infatuation is gone. It doesn't necessarily matter, because what matters is choosing to work on the relationship that you are in right now and continually doing the work to bring about specific type of feelings of infatuation, attachment, excitement, or passion, whatever you want to experience in your relationship. If you want more information on this topic, there's a bunch of information specifically in this course. I have a whole section called What is Love, and that's in the ROCD course, and you can also find that at awakenintolove.com and just go to the ROCD course. I also wanted to make a really exciting announcement with our Instagram. So in the next week, what I'm going to be doing starting today, which is June 28th, 2018, I'm going to be picking one follower on Instagram and give them a whole year of the ROCD course and community for free. So if you're really interested, all you have to do is go on Instagram, follow us, and message us and tell us why you're interested in having free access for a year on the ROCD course and community as well. As always, if you're experiencing ROCD, which you probably are because you're here, hang in there. This stuff is really, really hard. As always, give yourself that massive compassion that you so deserve, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.